Right, welcome. Episode 3 of Coachcast, and I am today joined by Tom Hames. Most people know as Evolution Training. Where did that come from, actually? That's the first question.
I have no idea. I think I just didn't want to... No, I didn't. Well, I think I know what it was. I didn't want to be another Trained By, because Trained By was super overused. Cause
Trained by TH.
Well, it was Trained By JP was the first guy to sort of have that, or at least one of the biggest ones to have that, and then it was copied a lot. Yeah. So I didn't want to be Trained By TH. I just wanted to be Evolution Training. Yeah.
Right, so we're actually going to start the podcast off with a sponsorship announcement. Fucking hell. 2 episodes in, we've got a sponsor. So, a sponsor is Pro Athlete, and it's Elite, play on words there, which is essentially like a TripAdvisor for coaches of the coaching industry, not just bodybuilding, all kind of sports and stuff like that, or physique-based sports. So, you can go on there as a client. You can leave reviews of your coach. It's good for coaches. Coaches can pay a premium when you get like a bigger profile on there and your ratings and stuff go up. And I think a lot of people these days, I don't know who's a good coach in the industry. Well, this is a good thing to leave some reviews on. So go follow them, sign up as well as a client or a coach and get your name out there. Anyway, into the podcast. So Tom Hames, like we said, Evolution Training. So Tom Hames, Evolution Training. For anyone that doesn't know who you are, which I think anyone in the competing industry would have to be living under a rock. Really.
That's nice to hear. No,
come on, bruv. But that is something to touch on, is how you've just reacted to that. Yeah. I think, to be fair, most of us up there, I think, I'm not well known, or I'm not liked, or whatever, or people don't know who I am. Bro, everyone knows who Evolution Training is. So how did it begin? Where did you start? What happened from that?
I got into bodybuilding through just like sport, like training for swimming, training for karate. That's what I did as like my sports, and a little bit of rugby at school as well. Started lifting weights for all of that. I kind of like had a bit of a rough time in high school, like bullied a bit and all that sort of stuff. So I think the confidence that I got from lifting weights certainly outdid the confidence that I got from like being good at my sport and stuff like that, which I was. But like weirdly, like even when you do karate and you're like one belt off like a black belt, people still would like rip the piss. I'm like, oh, karate kid. I'm like, I can kick your fucking ass, but like, all right, whatever. But I wasn't very confident. So I think lifting weights and stuff like that built my built physique up, obviously, and then like I think the confidence came with that, and then. That was like 14, 15, 16, slowly getting into it, lifting at home, that sort of shit, right? Then I got into training at like a bodybuilding, a leisure centre, then a bodybuilding style sort of gym, like a little spit and sawdust, wee little gym. And then from there, I think then I had sort of seen bodybuilding stuff on YouTube. And then I was like, from 16 through to 18, when I was at college, after high school, I started training seriously towards like my first show. And I was like, all right, that's what I want to do. I did NABBA as a junior. I was natural. And I did it. And I was 18 years old and I dieted for 6 weeks for it. And Respect. I used to cheat on my diet probably every 3 or 4 days. As you do.
Good work.
But
sounds like some of your clients.
But I did, my old clients maybe. But I did zero carb and like just like ate protein and vegetables for like 3-4 days. And then like one day I would just be like, nah, fuck it, I'll just eat whatever. And I ate like shit all day. And then I would go back to doing it.
Were you coaching yourself?
Oh yeah. I had like no money. So I was like doing my own thing at college and whatever. I did that, competed, got dead last, looked like shit. And then I was like, I still fucking loved that. That was amazing. Like,
how old were you then?
19? 18.
Were you working?
So I was working at my dad's pharmacy, like as dispensing
street
assistant.
Pharmacist. Yeah.
no, actual legit pharmacist. And then I was doing that at like weekends and maybe like one day in the week. So I wasn't earning a ton. So all of my money just kind of went on bodybuilding from there. And I was like, just putting it towards, everything was just towards my food really. Like, obviously Natty so wasn't banning any drugs at that time. And then I went to. Then I went to then I worked at Alton Towers for a bit back in Stoke. As you do.
Fat controller?
No, I wasn't on the rides. Like I was at like the car parks. Like it was like that
shit.
bad. Yeah, I feel sorry for any. Actually, God, if people do that as a job and they're listening, I feel bad now. But no, so I did that for a bit, and then I went to college. Then I went to uni. Went to uni. Did like sports science. Went in at like the second year there. So I skipped the first year there, and I did that. And during that time, I was training again for like another show. Did the NABBA Midlands again. Won it that time round.
Sweet.
So that was cool. Wasn't natty then. Did that. Then competed a few more times, sort of within the juniors. Left university. I got a job literally like behind a bar, and then I was a bouncer. And then I was like head of security at like a nightclub at one point as well. And then after that, like I'd been sort of competing through that, and then that was the end of my like junior career in bodybuilding, and probably the end of my bodybuilding career, pretty much. And then sort of that was it. And then I sort of during that time, I think I slowly started like helping people a bit. So the first guy I got was Sam Morpass. So that was the first ever client I had.
Freaky strong,
very very good. Yeah,
gets
and
peeled.
Very very good shape, very good structure. And so he came to me. So I had a coach at the time who was training James as well. Got introduced to him. That coach fucked off into the middle of nowhere. I don't know what he does. He's just left the industry just like that. So he's gone. And then Sam was like, "Oh, will you help me towards my show?" Because I still wanted to do one. And I was like, "Okay, cool. Like, yeah, I think I know enough about it, so we can go for it." Helped him. He did like however many weeks of dieting, didn't stick to the plan at all until like 4 weeks out, and then actually started trying and still got in really good shape. Won the junior class at this small show that we did, and then he won like his weight class, I believe. And then after that, I helped one of his mates, Molly Isaacs. So helped her for a while. She won pretty much everything within NABA and PCA, apart from maybe like 1 or 2 shows. But she's won the England. She did well at the Universe, like the British. She did well at. So she was just routinely doing well in like athletic figure.
And we were talking about this outside before we got onto this of being like, when you start getting results, you have an influx all the time. And which is a sad thing when it's someone bigger, and you know who I'm going to mention, which is probably a pivotal change in your career.
That's exactly the point I was about to get onto. So helping her and him, and then a couple of other people, and those people were relatively like low level. Sam and Molly were doing very well, and these other people were like quite low level, couldn't quite get to grips with the diet, whatever, that sort of stuff. And then I was training a guy called Chris Gregg. So this is where it leads on to be, because I was looking after Chris, and Chris is a genetic freak. Like, you think Brandon's a freak? Like, Chris used to diet for 8 weeks, get sick and fed up of it and tired of it, but still like, oh, can I just do an earlier show? I'm like, yeah, just hold on 1 more week, we'll find one for you. He went into the show, won the whole thing. Like after 8 weeks of dieting. And he was like, but he grew into the show. Like, he just didn't really drop any body weight. And I'm like, you should be. I saw him in person. I'm like, nah, you shouldn't be. You're fine. You're leaner and bigger. Like, that's crazy. Chris could easily be a men's physique pro. Yeah, very, very easily, but he just doesn't have the grit for it. So with the shows, when he diets, he just only wants to do a short diet, and he's like, that's enough. So helped him, but he was mates with Brandon, and Brandon used to train out of the same gym as me, and we had spoken about it sort of bits and bobs before. But then he went to a coach from Brum, did a show with him, had a bit of a result that he wasn't too happy with the end sort of result of it, and then afterwards came to me when he saw Chris win the overall under me, and then I helped him. We did whatever shows we did. I can't remember which ones we went for. I think he won a couple of them and got a couple of second places and stuff like that, some things. And then when I took him on, I was working as security in like a council building, like a big council sort of offices. Like I was doing security there, and then I remember walking back, having the message from him about it, and going, oh, I'm going to be able to leave my job. Like, I'm going to be able to be coaching full time, because I was trying to do that, during then. Took him on within maybe like I don't know, maybe like 6 weeks. I picked up maybe like 25 clients, maybe 30, just from working with him and seeing, and people being like, oh, and they're non-competitive. Like a handful of people who wanted to, and mainly like non-competitive. But that slowly built up, obviously.
How did that feel like at the time when you got inquiry? What do you remember? Like,
yeah, it was crazy.
You were still pretty young.
Yeah, but I was charging at the time. £75, £85 a month. Yeah. And then maybe,
and now he's £105.
Yeah, sure. No, but it definitely started to very much build up from there massively. And I'm always grateful for him coming to me for that, because it did get me to where I am. Well, it kickstarted to where I am now. But I also had Sarah at the same time as well. Yeah. So I had trained Sarah for a bit. Sarah was going to do UK DFBA years ago, right? Have you ever seen what she looked like as an athlete?
No.
Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, I think anyone that is going to go assisted and they look unreal, they're going to probably look insane. It's like I can imagine she looks pretty decent.
She's not. I'm like, no, she is. She did. She did a bit of a diet with me, decided that she wanted to do her powerlifting stuff instead, did that for like a year, then came back to me because she was getting injured too much at powerlifting and getting way too beat up, and she was like, no, I love bodybuilding, I just want to come back to it. Came back to me, and she was like, I think I just need to just get in shape, like do a diet. I was like, okay, cool. So we did a bit of a diet. I was like, sorry, there's a show in like 10 weeks. Do you want to do this? Like, do you want to just have a go? And then she was like, yeah, okay, let's go for it. So we do this show, do the London PCA. She wins the whole thing. Like, wins the whole thing at like 21 years old, right? The whole thing just smashes everyone. No one's even close. And
what category did
we went in as athletic figure, and they were like, yeah, she's trained figure. Like they do 4-quarter turns, and then Brian Alexander goes, competitor number, whatever she was. Can you please?
That was an
exit
awful
the
rise,
stage?
Anna. It was a competitor number 44.
Oh, there we go. That's a bit better. Yeah, so
you have moved class.
Yes.
Yeah.
The judges have deliberated. That's the phrase, isn't it? So she leaves, she goes off, and then they bring her back, and she just smokes everyone. And she goes into the overall and wins that too. This is the time when they had bikini and figure in the overall, and it was basically just like who looks the best for the criteria of the class.
Yeah.
So there wasn't like a bikini overall and a figure overall. It was just everyone. So she wins that. Goes through to the British, over diets a bit, gets in her head that she needs to sort of push a bit too much and everything, and just over kills herself sort of with some stuff, and then goes and she gets like third at the PCA British, and the woman who beat her, who got first, she should have really got second in my opinion, but the woman who got first is Michelle. She's now an IFBB pro as well. So it's like, okay, cool, like so that's
We can live with that. Yeah,
we can live with that. And the woman who got second was, I don't rate her, but she beat Sarah, but whatever. And then just from there, and basically everything that I think those points are where from Brandon and from her. And from like Ryan Brambleby doing quite well as well, so come on quite early. Those sorts of people, and that's where it sort of just very much just started moving outwards. And I think that's sort of just where it's just every day. It's just built up to where I am now, I suppose.
Yeah, sick.
Which is cool.
Right, that's cool. So we know how he got into it and stuff like that. If you could like think now, like, right, why do I fucking love doing this? Yeah. And take you back to the start of like, right, because at the start, a lot of people want to do it to try to get out of what they're doing. Yeah. I don't want to work security forever or whatever. I don't want to sell cars forever. Yeah. But at the start, why did you want to get into it? But now, why do you think, like, right, why do I actually fucking love this? Because I know you fucking love every bit of it.
Yeah, I think I really do. But do you know what it is? I think I fucking love helping people. Like, I love to see them do. I live through them more than this is the thing as well. Like, I bet you feel exactly the same way, right? And I think any real good coach does. I'm happier when they win than if I was to win that show. Yes. If I was to turn pro, I'd be like, oh wow, this is amazing, cool. Whatever, I've worked for however many years towards this. But if I see someone else get there, and I've been a part of them being able to achieve this, and without me, they might not have been able to do it. Yeah. Holy shit! Like that means so much more to me than me doing anything. Like me, any of my bodybuilding. My bodybuilding means very little to me already, but with them, like, I just love that. I absolutely love seeing them do something, and them, just helping someone do something that they really wanted to achieve,
and it gives you some sort of sense of fulfillment out of it.
Massively, like, just an enormous part of that. And I think I love it, but I'm also like, I'm super competitive, but I know for myself I can't be competitive within the bodybuilding scene. Mm-hmm. So, just with my genetics, my structure, whatever, I'm never going to be a good bodybuilder, but because I like the competitive nature of my clients doing well and going up against like other coaches' clients and then beating them and it's a close decision. It's like, oh wow, we they put 90% of the work in and I was just the brains behind the whole thing. But like, I like that competitive nature of that too. But do you know what it is? Like, I think like the question is like why I do this. I think genuinely, like, I still have that goal of like I still want to be the best in the UK. I want someone to go, Tom Holmes is the best coach. Like we both know right now, it's Cal. Yeah, right. It is.
It's what it's classed as. Yeah. Whether he is or not.
Yeah. But like,
fuck you, Cal.
But you ask anyone sort of within the industry. Like,
that's the first people they go to. Cal, 100%.
Right? And like for me,
and it's deserved.
Yeah, absolutely,
100%.
Completely utterly. And he's a very good friend of mine. He's a great person. But I still want to be. I want to be there. I want to be at that top spot. That's what I want to do. That's what I'd love to be considered the best.
I'm going to go back to something you said about we're going to reel this. People with deludable.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay, because me and you are very fucking realistic with ourselves.
Oh, yes.
I love competing. I ain't turning pro ever. Ever, bro. It's just not happening. No. Okay? It doesn't matter what category. Yeah. I'm not winning bikini, bro. Okay?
I don't know.
Those glutes, bro. But it's about, like, so many people these days they are fucking deluded. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And especially as a coach, we have to decide, right, in my opinion anyway, if you want to be a really good fucking coach, it's me or them. Yeah. And it's them. Yeah. All day.
Oh, yeah, every day.
All day, because I ain't going.
If you had to never compete again, but all your clients would always, do
fucking competing.
Bodybuilding.
See ya. Yeah. I'll just be perma bloke god. Yeah, perfect. Cool. So you saying I want to be the best? Yeah. What do you perceive as the best? What would make you the best? Olympia titles.
Yeah. Like, I don't know any in the UK who've actually got it. I don't think. Who's any UK coaches? Oh, Neil Hill with Flex.
With Flex, does that count?
I think Flex can just walk himself to Olympia.
He's Welsh.
There we go. The best in England.
Yeah.
No, that's it. Like, Olympia titles, pro wins, Arnold wins. You start racking them up, That's because that is harder than turning someone pro. And I know that sounds like weird, but like when you go to pro shows, like you're no longer against the amateur pool with some genetic freaks in there. You are against every genetic freak that has ever turned pro and is still deciding to go for it. Yeah. It's fucking solid. They go to Romania, I was like, holy fucking Jesus, these bodybuilders don't fuck around.
And that, like, your answer is different to my answer when it comes to that, because your niche is competitors. Yeah, mine is, I want to be able to help everyone. Yeah. Don't care if it's a competitor, don't care if it's lifestyle. And it has gradually become more and more competitor.
More serious bodybuilders, I would say.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's become more and more coaches, actually. But they're normally competitors themselves anyway. But yeah, since like taking like Kamara, stuff like that, when we say outside, like her pro debut next year, it will do exactly what your stuff has previously done for you. But like my idea of like being the best in the world is like having the ability to literally get any person in the world in shape. But how can you measure that? You can't. So Olympia titles and stuff like that, I completely get it. Cool. Right, we're going to move on to some questions.
Ooh, here we go.
From IG before we go into my last lot that I always go on to. So, right, Carlos, first question. I quite like this one. What changes to the industry have you seen in the recent years that have, one, made it 10 times better, but also 10 times worse?
Oh, God.
10 times better.
Yeah.
We'll just discuss this.
Yeah.
What I love about it is, right, if we think of like top UK coaches right now off the top of your head, like Cal, you, Joe, Martin Winston, Jace, I want to put Jace up there, 100%. Me. Yeah. Okay, like all of us as like, we all are mates.
Josh McHale as well.
Josh McHale, fuck me.
Dan Wellburn,
Dan Wellburn, fucking hell, there's loads. But we're all like that.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this. There's no, I don't think at the moment, from a coaching standpoint, the people at the top, there's no bitchiness.
No,
really.
No. I know that, and Dan Bastick as well.
Literally just about to say that.
Let's just stop because we could go on for hours.
Oh, this person.
Yeah. Like we know that just because our clients competing against each other, or whatever, and just because the decision we might not agree with or something like that, we're like, oh damn, that was rough. Jeez. Okay, let's get back to the drawing board. There's no like, oh fuck them, fucking. He puts him on so much drugs. He does this. He does that. Yeah. We all know what everyone else does with everyone, right? Yeah. Like we all do very very similar things. That's why we're in that pool of sort of top lot. Okay, so. That's definitely one of the best things. It's really, really close knit, especially with coaching sort of. So
and it's so much like, look, I've had some of Cal's clients, I've had some of Dan's clients, Dan's had some of my clients. People have gone from me to you, you to me. No one cares.
No, we really.
And people think like the clients that leave think, oh, but I don't want to. We don't care as long as they go into someone like I respect.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Maybe I'd say something if it was something like, oh, bro, I don't know about that decision. Maybe you should go here.
Well, yeah, I've said that before about people, but like I had a chap leave and he's working with Dan, and I was just like, that's a good call. I said, listen, that's perfectly fine. He was like, whatever reason he wanted to sort of go. I was like, that's cool. Yeah, genuinely wish you all the best. And before he told me, he says, oh, I'm going to work with Dan because Dan's already doing my training bits and bobs and stuff, and I was just overseeing everything else. He was just like, saving money, whatever it was. I was like, here's a list of people that I would suggest, and I had Dan on there obviously as well, yourself and Martin, Carl, whatever, and he was just like, oh, thank you, appreciate that. And he goes to Dan, I'm like, good, thank God he's gone to someone decent and not gone to some fucking American lunatic who's like, take 6 grams of test and some bollocks, right? So
I was talking about this actually last night. American coaches just been so far behind.
Like 10 years
10 years behind.
I say 10 years, that's why I always
email, fish and rice, bro.
Yeah.
Diazide tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sweet, we ready?
Yeah.
It's just fucking...
I'd say it's about 10. I think there's some that definitely see the UK scene and go, oh, hang on, we really need to get on board with this a bit more. But there's some that just like literally just recycle through the same stuff.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people from the UK are realising that American thing because when they do sign up,
it's not what the fuck
and it's not them that they're talking to anyway.
Oh god, yeah, of course.
Like you sign up with Matt Jansen, you're getting his wife. Do you know what I mean?
You are. I've heard this.
Funny, Matt, whatever, Matt. Like, he's not watching this, bro. So, what's made it 10 times worse?
So I think here's a good point. I think within the bodybuilding industry itself, I mean, the close-knitness of all of us coaches is really, really good. But I think if you're looking at the one thing that swings both ways on the scale, tip the needle, so to speak, no pun intended, is the drug usage. Openness is good in one ways, but also bad in other ways. Okay, so if you've got forums like the JP forum, right, where people are talking about the 5,000 milligrams they took a week leading in towards a show, and you go, please don't ever consider this. I'm a professional bodybuilder. I do this for my job and whatever. That doesn't stop an 18-year-old lad thinking that's the way for him to turn pro, because I was an 18-year-old lad who saw those sorts of things on American forums, and I thought that's the way for me to do this. And so it's also good that it's open so that people can make informed decisions about things and go, okay, that's not good. I don't want to be doing that thing.
And
And
I
there's
think
more information now.
there is enough
Nice.
education out there to
There
kind of
really
make
is.
and people make informed decisions. But you can
Absolutely.
put as much good information out there as well. You're not the one loading the barrel.
No.
They are.
No.
And they can do whatever the fuck they want. All feeling a bit flat this week. Let's double the test.
Exactly.
You know, in my opinion, things that have made it 10 times worse is people winging it because you can. In terms of like anyone can be a coach.
Yeah.
And I get that you've got to get experience somehow and you've got to throw yourself in the deep end. But if you're throwing yourself in the deep end and you have no prior experience yourself of doing it yourself, or you don't have a coach yourself and you're doing it on a wing and a prayer, it's a shame sometimes because at the end of the day, it's health as well that's coming into play.
Or regurgitating the same plans that your coach has given, but then just tailoring them off into a certain way, and it's not getting the same sort of thing pushed through to where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, and you'll know this, bro, from working with 1,000+ people.
Yeah, I don't know about that
What,
many, but yeah.
what works for
Good
one
joke.
definitely don't work for
No,
another.
no, not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
And you have to deal with so much differences with people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I think that like I'm all for like people making their business better
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But a lot of how to make a business better is just be a better coach.
Yeah, I genuinely think so as well. I mean, like, I was still doing really, really well and had like 85+ people before I was taking social media somewhat seriously. I still don't really take it seriously as I should do, but it used to be literally just when a client started looking really, really good. Here is a picture of my client who looks really good, and then it used to be a picture of me at the show with them. Here's my client who has just won.
Pointing at them.
And that was it. And then it would be like, when's the next show and when's the next client who's going to be 2 week out and looking should have done anything, or who's put on tons of tissue. All right, cool. Here's the amount of muscle they've put on. All right, cool. And here's them 6 months later. Here's the show that they've won. And that, you just used to rinse and repeat that, and that's just pretty much that was it for me. But that was just because I just was very much focused on just being as good as I could possibly be. Really.
What's the most you've had at any one time?
What do you mean, sorry?
Clients.
100.
Yeah. And I think, look, when you've done it, how long you've done it, it's actually quite easy to manage.
Yeah.
But the problem is when it comes to competing.
Yeah.
It's
100
100. It's 100
competitors.
Yeah, it's 100 every day,
Yes.
not once a week.
Yeah.
Because if they're all competing, fuck.
And that's the problem. So I ended up having a point where I think it was around about half of them, or at least maybe a good solid just over a third, were competing or routinely on prep, and they're coming towards the back end of it. And I was doing, Monday, Wednesday, Friday check-ins with some people. Then some people I was doing 2 days on, 1 day off, and then we'd check again for 2 days, and then we'd whatever. And some people it was every single day. Caitlin at one point from 8 weeks out was doing every single day because I just needed to make sure that we nailed it, and it was coming from a really, really tough spot as well. But that's what I mean. Like as a new coach, you aren't going to be able to manage that much straight away. You just won't. Your brain won't work that fast.
The thing what Tom's mentioned there is that's the difference between a good coach and a great coach is having certain people that, I don't need you to check in every day at the moment, but some people, 10 weeks out, you're checking in every day because I need to be speaking to you every day because, this might be their first show, they might be losing their head, and that's when knowing to make that judgment call, because if I leave them a week and they come back to me a week later and they're like, oh, bro, binged. Or, I've done this, I've done that, or I did more cardio than I should have. Well, if we were talking every day, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, and I think that definitely helps when you get more experienced competitors as well. So like Ross, I check in twice a week at the moment because he's dieting down for something. And then, I might have another person who I'm checking 3 times, 4 times a week at the moment, and they're further out than he is, So it's just gauging that as well. But that's what
an experience level comes massively into it. I know that, well, to be fair, I didn't have any experience when I competed, but I think I started speaking to Joe every day for the last 2 weeks. Yeah. That was it. Because I didn't need it.
No, you know exactly what.
I know what I got to do.
If something's off, you're like, Joe, this is not right. I've dropped fucking 4 pounds. Oh shit, okay, let's talk.
I wish I'd dropped that towards him.
Let's do it.
Right, next one is from Tom B. Lifts, one of my clients, Tom Butcher, the big butcher. What's the hardest thing about online coaching and how do you work around it?
For me now, even though we've just spoken about obviously being able to manage a higher client load and stuff like that, for me now, I think it's just changes to my life that now affect my work schedule. So with having my little boy with Coden, it's like people, until you're a father, until you're a dad who's also running a business and, whatever, I mean, you've got other sort of commitments that you need to worry about as well. Until you've got that going on, I don't think you realise how much a little baby needs you there present for in their, in their life. Obviously, so this morning, so this was how I got up at whatever time it was, 6:30 when he woke up. He's woke up crying. He's like, come and get me. All right, cool. Look after him. My wife feeds him. And then she goes back to sleep because she's been up in the middle of the night to feed him already. He was knackered, he's not sleeping great. I was downstairs, I'm playing with him for like 2 hours. Okay, then and I was doing text replies whilst like, oh yeah, doing the stacking cups on your little, whatever, his little toys and everything like that. And he's still trying to bum shuffle away. I'm like, oh God. So I'm there doing text replies to people I need to get back to immediately. And then I've gone upstairs when my wife's got up, took him, and I worked solidly until I had to sort of go and set off to be here.
I don't think people realise how much time it takes.
It's time management.
If I don't start at a certain time and don't think, my day's fucked.
Yeah.
Because everything has to go in line. But then anything can happen in your day.
Yeah.
Anything. And one thing that disrupts it throws me off massively.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing for me, what I think is the hardest thing about online coaching is you are alone every day, pretty much. Yeah. Yes, you're technically talking to people through a screen.
You're talking at them.
Yeah, you're talking at them. You have no communication really with the outside world until you go to the gym. And then when you go to the gym, all you're talking about is the gym. Yeah. And I don't know about you, a lot of people unload their stuff onto you, which is fine. That is part of the job.
Yeah.
And let's say you do 25 check-ins in a day. I've had 25 people unload a lot of personal stuff onto me, potentially. Not everyone. But over half, probably, every day. Yeah. And this is happening, this happened. It's a lot to take, and it's a lot to try and chill someone out and talk to them and stuff like that. Who's listening to me? Yeah. That's what I find hardest.
Yeah. I think that's...
And in terms of how I've got around with that, I had a therapist last year, which massively helped. Because that was someone to vent all my shit to.
Yeah.
Now I don't feel like I really need that at the moment, because I'm fucking loving everything I'm doing. But coming out and doing this and actually talking to someone makes it a lot easier. But that's the hardest thing. It is quite... It's lonely, man.
It's monotonous is a good word, isn't it? It's the same thing, repetitive, over and over and over again.
Yes,
and
bro.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. But sometimes it's like, okay, I need a bit of a break from bodybuilding. It's
mentally exhausting.
My friends are bodybuilders. I talk to bodybuilders all day long. I have my little brother's a bodybuilder now as well, so he's talking about his competition this end of the year. So the people in my immediate circle are already talking about this. So sometimes I think you do need something else. So that's one
100%. We've got one from Bikini Fitness UK, co-owner of Cookie Dealer, actually.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
How to get ripped without drugs for a bikini athlete? What's the protocol?
Realistically,
no food.
Realistically, make sure you're starting your diet in a good point for however long duration you're going to spend. Spend as long as you need to doing it, and then when you do diet down, obviously just make sure it's like if you are natty as well. You don't have the drugs to fall back on, so to speak, for preservation of tissue. Okay.
Yes.
So that's my thing. I would say take your time and realize it's going to be a long process, and just be careful with the slow removals of food as you take your way.
Yeah. Now, being as I know you, Agarta, I'm going to give you a personal one. Don't compete 15 times in a year plus. Okay. I know you love getting on stage, and you do fucking own. And she's a really good competitor. Very good physique. It's won a lot of shows and stuff like that. Longer off season, so you've got more muscle. Yeah. When you've got more muscle, it's easier to get lean.
Eat more food.
And you can eat more food on the prep, normally, hopefully. But to be fair, with how long that Agarta preps.
How long are we talking?
Long.
Oh, God.
I swear she did over 20 shows last year. I didn't prep her, just FYI. Okay. I wish I did. Still waiting for you, Agarta. But steps. Yeah. Weighted steps. Yeah. Game changer, in my opinion. So. It's not going to get you ripped. No. It's going to take body fat off you, though. Because especially as, 120-pound female, is cardio really burning that many calories?
After a certain point, when you stop being physically unfit and you start becoming physically fit, your ability to manage that stress which you're putting your body under is going to be better. And therefore you burn less and less and less and less. And you can increase it as much as you like, but you're still really physically fit. And now you're making yourself even fitter.
By doing more. It's such a bad situation to be in. But I always think, if I could take this person back to what they weighed at the start throughout the prep, let's say you start at 150 pounds and you end it at 115 pounds, you're constantly 35 pounds heavier through the prep, whatever.
With the slow increment on the...
With an increment,
with the weight.
It's a game changer, in my opinion.
It's really good. I really rate them.
Gain more muscle.
Yeah.
Which, as a natural, yes, that is hard. It's going to take time. Time is your friend here. Same person. Your favourite cookie from Cookie Dealer? I know mine already.
The red velvet one, I think. That was nice. Oh, or the white chocolate. That was a bit sickly, but it was really good.
The white chocolate one's always a bit sickly, but they're good. Carrot cake, what's up, Doc, is the... Oh, fuck me, I had two of them on the weekend. Jesus Christ. Sorry, Nave. Don't listen to this podcast. Female coaching, what are the challenges? This is a good one for you because you've got some freaky females. First thing that comes to mind, Natasha.
Yeah, Natasha.
Novak, if you're listening, you are a freak, bruv.
Yeah, pretty damn
She's
good.
Fucking sick.
Yeah. Nat, Shelley. Shelley's really, really good as well. Sarah, obviously. Romana, obviously. Caitlin. I've got a fair few underneath that as well. I've got a lot of...
Rebecca Warren, love her physique.
Rebecca Warren, very, very, very good.
Sick.
Very good physique. Great shape, great strength.
And really nice person.
Yeah, she's lovely. She's super nice. I mean... Like, there's the same struggles that you'd have with, as long as you understand female physiology, as long as you understand that, you know, anything, you just need to be really mindful about, like, how you treat them as a competitor, and be like, with blokes, you have the ability to push a lot harder in certain aspects, not just from a drug perspective, obviously, but from a, you know, they will retain tissue relatively well when they're enhanced, you know.
Yes.
For women, even when they're enhanced, you still can overcook them, so you have to be mindful about that and give them enough time and things. But yeah, I mean, what's the question? It's like considerations, isn't it?
Double check what I forgot. Completely forgot what are the challenges of female coaching?
The challenges are knowing that they need to start the position of a prep at a good point, knowing that they are going to have monthlies to deal with every single month that can throw things off in terms of, you know, scale weight management and stuff like that, and knowing that coming out of a show, I think the main thing for ladies is that ladies will have to go very, very low with their calories to get to a certain look, all right? So bikini, yes, you are going to have to go pretty damn low. Obviously, they're usually a very small individual, right? And women's physique, or women's figure, IFBB standard women's figure, they're going to have to get low because they have to get shredded.
Yes.
Coming out of that, they're going to probably fuck things up unless you are absolutely hot on it. And then there's only so much that you can do at that point as well. Yeah. There's a point of bringing them too far, and there's a point of keeping them too low. And you need to find the medium.
Yeah, and touching on that in terms of like calories, expenditure, and stuff like that. Calories will be low and expenditure will be high. Any coach out there that is bragging, my females don't do cardio, or my females never go below 1,000 calories, all this sort of stuff, it's bullshit. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately,
they're not telling you.
Some of them might not have to.
Yeah.
That's understandable. Yeah. They might have shit tons of muscle.
Yeah.
Okay, and they've done it years and years and years. Yeah. They've done prep, off season, prep, off season, prep, off season consistently. Yeah. 9 times out of 10, that ain't happening. No. Okay, bro. No. You know, sometimes 2 hours of cardio a day is not unheard of on sub 1,000 calories. It's not unheard of. No. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to just fucking do what you've got to do.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is just one of those things.
It's hard, but you've got to think of it as like, if you're a 110, 120 pound female, to burn calories takes a lot, so you can't eat a lot.
It's one of those things, and me and Taylor Hunter have spoke about this as well. So she came to me in a very, very bad position in terms of body fat and everything like that, and we've essentially had to do we're doing a prep essentially.
Before the prep.
Well, we've done that, and now this prep is a big fat reset button because she's very, very mentally strong, and she basically just did everything that this coach previously told her to do. And what I've said to her now is that essentially, like, when we come out of this, we are going to be checking in every day after this for a good 6-8 weeks coming out of it, and we're going to manage every single possible thing that we can manage to make sure that you
never have to do this again.
Never ever have to go this hard again. I want you to be able to prep hard for sure, because you're going to have to, but never this hard.
Post-show phase is harder than the prep.
Fucking solid.
By fucking so much.
Blokes can get away with things, though, can't they? Like, we can stay on drugs afterwards, and it's like, oh, my blood's going to take a bit of a hit, but you can stay, but we'll still look like a bloke afterwards.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like, if you stay on some test and some Primo after your show, you keep your T3 in for a bit and your T4 in for however long, you can probably, you know, keep going.
Reverse out of it pretty well, with a few fuck-ups and stuff.
Fuck-ups. And you're still going to look like a bloke. You're still going to, you know, just put it on tissue, you're going to look sick in the gym. Women don't have that luxury, unfortunately. They do have to be very mentally strong.
Well, I think it's as hard for a female as it is for a male post-show. Post-show is, without a doubt, the hardest thing you will ever do. Yeah. I don't care how good your coach is, how mentally resilient you are, it's going to be fucking shit. Yeah. And there is some sort of like out of body, out of control experiences you will go through. You're making food whilst eating food, and then grabbing something else, and you can't control it, and you are going to fuck up. But I think if you go into it knowing, like, right, I'm probably going to fuck up at this point. All that matters is, right, what am I going to do tomorrow to rectify it? Because then it's like, because some people will fuck up one day. It's like, right, my whole week's written off. And then check in the week after. That is why, post-show, you ain't getting rid of me. Because we're checking in every day on the lead-up to show.
I had a client
every day.
I had a client who did that after the PCA show. She's doing the same thing, and she just was like, no, I just don't really think I want to do bodybuilding. I'm like, can you please just stay on for just like 4 weeks at least?
I'll do it for free. I don't care.
I think I even offered that as well. And I was just like, please, because I know how this goes. And now I see her every day doing hours on the Stairmaster. She's like, just got to get back in shape for summer. And I'm like, you finished competing in like October, love. Like, come on.
It is
this is why
fucking
I was
hard
to be here for you.
And sometimes
you can't do anything about that.
You'll have someone who I think they're going to nail it post-show, and they fuck it.
Lose it.
And it's so hard. But what I do, and if this is a tip for anyone, I don't know, I use the pressure of people seeing me on social media every day as a reason to, I can't fuck it up, because I don't want to be the guy that everyone's laughing at thinking he's gained £50 in a week, because I've seen it. And those people get laughed at, which is, it's a shame. We should be supporting and stuff like that. But it's like, I will not let it happen because I've got too much pressure on me to keep up you got to practice what you preach, right? Last question from IG, and I fucking love this one. I saved the best till last. It's from Jay-Z Bodybuilding. Joseph Flynn, if you were both competing against each other, who takes what poses?
That's a good one. You beat me from the back in everything. Rear relaxed, rear double bicep, you beat me.
Thanks, bro.
Rear lat spread, you definitely beat me. Side, I probably would.
I think you'd take a side because I go invisible from the side.
From the front, your front double biceps.
Front doubles, it's actually quite pretty now.
Your front double biceps better than mine. My front lat and your front lat.
I think you'd take
my front lat's probably better, but marginally. And then abs and thighs.
I don't have abs even when I'm peeled.
So probably me there. Most muscular, you, I think. Mine's gangly. Front relaxed? I don't know.
My front relaxed is ugly.
Mine's not great.
I can't hit that.
My quarter turns aren't too bad.
I just can't do it. Yeah, quarter turns.
Yours are all right.
Sides are okay.
Yeah, but you beat me from the back, hands down, easy peasy.
Basically, what he's saying is I'll win.
You would. I think you beat me on condition, I think, because you probably get.
We were saying maybe early next year, me and Tom jump in an early show.
Maybe we'll do
Mate,
it.
I would pay big money.
That would be fun.
To do that.
Laugh.
Let's just do it. Fucking hell. Battle of the coaches. Don't invite Jace.
No. Fuck off, Jace. No, just go away.
Jace can fuck off. Dan Bassett can also fuck off.
No, Dan, go away.
I'll let
Even
Cal
Martin Winston. Go away, Martin.
No, I'm fucking up Martin.
He's good.
No, he's good.
really
He is
good.
good, actually, yeah. Always gets fucking peeled as well.
Yeah.
Get Cal in it, though.
Yeah.
We can take Cal. Fuck him.
But he only eats one meal a day. He'll get shitted.
That's a good point. Yeah, to be fair. His body's accustomed to it now. Right. If you could go back to the start, what would you do differently?
Do you know what? I think you're a sum and an equation of all of the experiences that you've had in terms of negative and positive. And I don't think I'd change anything. Like if I hadn't
I'm always like this, bro.
But if I hadn't been sacked from my job working behind a bar, I never would have gone to another job, and then I would have never met the slug at Wick. I was working behind a bar at Slug Lettuce, and then I never would have met Mishka.
Yeah.
If I hadn't been sacked, I never would have met her, and then I wouldn't have Coden. So all of those sums and equations, and all of the fuck ups and things that I've done as a coach, and things that I've not got right, and things that I've, those have made me the coach that I am.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, I think so. And as cheesy as that is, I think it's very true.
I think everyone's going to have this same answer of like, well, I've got here now, so it must have worked. My only difference is, I wish I'd done it sooner. But that's the self-belief and self-doubt shit, isn't it?
The one thing I do regret is not finding work to do as a younger bodybuilder so that I could have paid for my bodybuilding a bit better. I think that I should have put more time in of just actually doing jobs and working and that sort of stuff. Even just shitty little stuff. I think that would have been better really if I'd done that. But apart from that, I think you're an equation of everything that's happened to you. So,
butterfly effects and all that. If there's one thing you could change about the industry, what would it be?
Oh, bloody hell.
I know, I had a list.
One thing that I could change about the industry, I think the industry in itself is it's very, very unregulated, and I do think some more regulations in there would be nice, but I don't think there's any way to do so. No. Oh, actually, do you know what I would do? Is a good one. Is one thing that I'd finish with. Is one thing that I'd want to change is limit the amount of times that someone can post on Instagram in a fucking 24-hour period, and stop thinking that you can trademark illegal drug protocols. That would be nice.
Okay, yeah, let's just get into this. Right, fuck Victor Black. No, don't tarnish your business by trying to throw down legal lawsuits.
With amazing information.
100%. And look, at the end of the day,
losing your mind.
Yeah, Victor is an incredibly intelligent individual when it comes to anything drug-related, PD-related. Yeah, for anything, very intelligent guy, apart from when it comes to marketing himself.
Oh, God.
Which is a shame, because I did get on with him. Yeah. He blocked me about 4 years ago now.
Yeah, I blocked him. Watch that shit.
But also don't post 500 times in one day.
And this whole, you need to call them black protocols. I'm going to call them Callum protocols or Joe Jeffrey protocols every time he says
it makes you want to do it more.
Yeah, it makes me want to just take the piss with it. It's that's a Tom Ames protocol.
It's okay that you can call it whatever you want. There's things that I do that people have copied. Okay, if I'd take it as a good thing. Because I'd like to think that I sprout good knowledge.
There's bits that I use from every coach that I've worked with that I learned from.
That's the whole point. And no one is thinking, no one else in the world is thinking, you need to call it that.
Yeah, no one.
Anyway, well, we're getting into slang and that. You can't be asked to it. This is quite relevant to you now, actually, because you've just had a big lifestyle change, essentially, because you've had a child. How do you manage your workload? Barely.
No, just the same way that I did before. My wife is much much more supportive than she not than she used to be as such, but she definitely helps out with coding more than her fair share, which I'll eternally be grateful for, because I have to be there. I have to work and everything, and yes, I might pay for things for us to do, but like I would love to be able to put aside my job or half the workload that I've got and play with coding and look after coding, have a great time, go out for days out, that sort of stuff. But unfortunately, I have to sit there.
It is about being organised.
Unfortunately, it is. It's just managing that time, and it is. It's literally just like I work from 8 and I work till about 2, and then I have a break, and then I'll eat something, and then I might go to the gym if I get the chance to, come back, and then I might eat dinner a few hours after that, and then if I need to jump on the laptop afterwards in the evening, I will do so.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Cool.
And unfortunately, that's what it is.
Nice and easy. Best piece of advice you could give for a new online coach?
Okay, so how many times do we see the same thing over and over again? I'm going to talk about protein today and why it's important for you.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about steps.
Yeah. Creatine is a building. It's just fucking mate. Shut up. Like you do some. If you're going to do it, cool. That's great, right? Do something different. Okay. Everyone who's towards the top does things. There's a little bit of a quirk to them. Something different that they do. Be original. Do something different. Stop recycling the same shit. Come up with a new idea of something. Everyone uses Google Sheets. Everyone uses video check-ins. Everyone is everyone good is at their clients' shows, right? If they can obviously make it for whatever reason. But that sort of stuff. Everyone does that. If you want to get in, it's fucking saturated. Okay, so if you want to get in and you want to, be there, fantastic. I'm glad that you do. Develop your knowledge, develop your skill set, put experience behind you. If you're training competitors, make sure you've competed, or at least really be backed up on knowledge. Like Joe hasn't competed, but he's so backed up with knowledge, it's just like crazy. So all of that, and then do something different. What makes you different to every single individual out there? Or are you just a copy and paste of another coach that's exactly the same as you?
And know that not everyone can be an online coach. As much as it's easy to enter, it's not easy to be good. Yeah. Right, so you've become an incredibly busy coach, well-known coach now, that you are, without whatever you say, bro, you are one of the most known coaches in the UK.
I'm all right.
What cost has it come at?
You heard the Conor McGregor thing where he goes like, my sanity. Like it's like he says the same thing. What, dude? This is hard, isn't it?
Like, what's the price you've had to pay to get to that?
Well, I actually listened to you asked Carl this as well.
Everyone's going to get asked the same question.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I think me and Mish have had some serious arguments. My wife, we've had some serious arguments about this and like how much time this dictates. Oh, you're on your phone again. Oh, yeah, I've just got to get back to so and so. Oh, okay, can we just do this? Yeah, I've just got to go do a few more check-ins. I thought you were done. Yeah, I've got 4 more. We've just checked in. It takes time that it's taking away from you and everything like that. But if you want to do this and you want to, be the best at something, or you want to be extremely good at something, it is going to take a massive amount of effort. And I think a lot of people some people look into coaching as a way out of, a way to make the 10 grand a month or whatever people talk about, right? These 10K months and things. And that's cool if you want to do it for the money. That's great, fantastic. But are you also doing it for the right reasons as well? Because it's going to come at a cost, and there's going to be social aspects of things that you're going to lose. And dude, you know what? This is a bit. I don't know if this is a bit too deep for your podcast.
Bro, hit me with it. It's cool.
You sure?
Yeah.
I think I know my passion for my own bodybuilding, which is what got me into it, has now gone. But that's okay, because my passion for everyone else's bodybuilding and my clients is tenfold. Yeah. It's tenfold. Yeah. It really is. My own bodybuilding, and as much as it is, I'm always going to be a relatively big guy, but if I only train once in a week, I don't actually care that much. Mm-hmm. I care if a client gets second when I know they could have got first. Yeah. That's what means more to me. Mm-hmm. So your passion for your own bodybuilding can sometimes go, I think with some people.
Good answer. I like it. So we're gonna have one more.
Ooh.
And it's only because I've been thinking about it since the start.
Okay.
When I say that, one of the most well-known coaches in the UK, one of the best coaches in the UK, your face changes and you don't know what to do, you don't know what to say. Yeah, so when you get like someone inquire and you think, fuck, are they meant to type in my name? Can they not spell? Or something. Do they mean evaluation? What's his name?
I know what you're on about. Evaluation or something like that, yeah.
Isn't it? Is that Hilly Doc?
No, Hilly's something else, yeah. I can't remember what Hilly is.
I can't remember who it is. Yeah. But anyway, very close now. So when someone inquires like that or something, or when someone says to you, bro, you're fucking smashing at the moment, you're one of the best coaches in the UK.
Yeah.
How does that actually make you feel? And what's your reaction to that?
Dude, it's like, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's really, really lovely. But do you know what it is? It's like, I think because I'm like, obviously, do you know when I say this whole thing about like, oh, the goal is to be like the best, right? If the goal is to be there, what happens when I do get there on that day?
I was literally just about to say that.
Because when you get there, that's going to be the best and worst day of my life. Like,
what do you do then?
Like 3 Olympia titles and 4 Arnold Classics, and then, you know, multiple, like 20 people on a turn pro. When I've got that, when that's there, what do I do then?
Do you think you're actually going to feel that fulfillment? Because I don't think
you ever will you? I think, no, it's not enough. You need more, and I think that's one thing that's...
Do you think that's come from anything in your life?
Like, I don't know, man. That's interesting.
Your parents, like, are they business people or big achievers or no?
I think it's more to like, and it's bad because it's not a good trait to have, but it's like prove people wrong, like shut people up. I think it can be. I think it can make you a bit like hollow sometimes. But I also think it's a good motivator. I think it's a really, really strong one. It's because I remember people saying, "Oh, you fucking shit coach! Like, he's shit bodybuilder, shit coach, but you're a nice guy. At least you got that." And I'm like, all right, well, you've said that, and now that ain't going. That's in the
so.
Back
Do you think that's why that when I say, "Oh, you're a good coach," you look down or you start smiling or whatever?
It's nice, it's lovely, it's really, really nice.
But do you think that's the reason why you react like that?
I think so. Yeah, I think because I'm not done until I've got that, and I don't think I'll ever get what I'm searching for because I just want everyone to be the fucking best.
No, bro, I completely get that. But it's like I don't even know what I am working towards. Just more. Yeah, it's that sense of I've achieved something. Yeah. But you've achieved it, and then it's like 2 minutes later, right, what's the next thing?
Yeah, Sarah turns pro. Yeah, and obviously, you know, on the same day, you know, I don't want to bring that up. That's weird. But yeah.
It's not weird. Soph turns pro on the same day.
Soph turns pro on the same day. How gassed will be?
Fuck me.
Yeah. But then immediately
died.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, wasn't it? I cried my eyes out when she got it. It was unbelievable. But then what?
Next day, drawing board, let's go.
Right, Sarah, when are you making your pro debut? Yeah? What's next? You know, anything like that. Okay, the girl who, Mel Ray, who's one of my clients, who won the fantastic bodybuilder.
Ginger girl.
Yes, won the British in tone figure. Okay, cool. Right, you've done that. Let's leave PCA now. You can do flips and shit. You can do like gymnastics and shit. Do you want to do the fitness class next year in IFBB? I don't want to compete next year. I think I need a little bit longer. Okay, cool. Let's take a full year out, and then 2024 we'll come back and we're going to do that.
Great shout for you, Mel.
Exactly.
That's a great shout.
So we're going to be doing that. So that's like, she wins the British. 2 weeks later or a week later, we're already talking about a fucking IFBB pro card in fitness.
And you know why? Because it's never enough.
It's never enough.
And then if that's done, right, the next person.
Oh, yeah.
But what are they doing? What's Caitlin doing?
Exactly, yeah.
Shout out Caitlin.
Yeah,
my fucking G.
Yeah, she's a legend.
Yeah, she's a fucking G, man. I love her. Cool. Right, well, that's going to wrap that up. Where to find you?
Just evolution_training on Instagram.
Tom Hames. Just type in Tom Hames.
Just type in Tom Hames, you'll find it.
Big bald man.
Yeah, not hard to miss. If you're at a show and you hear some deep booming voice over the crowd, it's like, oh, that's Tom.
I thought I was loud, but Tom drowns me.
No.
That's going to wrap up episode 3. I've got the next 3 guests lined up. One of them is my dad.
Amazing.
I just thought, what an idea.
That's amazing.
I put it on Instagram and everyone's like, yes, 100%.
I will be listening.
Because to be fair, it'd be good to pick his brain because like he's always worked for himself, all that sort of stuff.
That's cool.
And I think it'll be a laugh. And then actually the next one is quite rogue, actually. I'll tell you about it after.
Cool.
But that's going to leave it on a cliffhanger, guys. Thanks for listening. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that shit. Put it on Instagram, whatever, and get the word out about Coachcast. First couple of episodes have gone down really well, so that's fucking sick. So really happy with that. We'll catch you at the next one.